for example, I've been recently reading Mein Kampf.
Mm-hmm. You know what? That's the thing. Even there's probably things in Mein Kampf that are not the surface level read. If you get all hung up on probably all his crap about his anger at Jews and this and that, all this crap, it's like, okay, yeah, that's right on the surface. Try to get below that. Try to see, how is he creating the Jews as a cope somehow? Like, how is he using, why are they his scapegoat? And I mean scapegoat so René Girard's concept of the scapegoat, I mean it in that sense, whereas Hitler wants to make the Jews the scapegoat for World War I.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the starting point, similar with Ayn Rand, is like Mein Kampf is not a good place to search, not just because Hitler is evil, but it's just not full of ideas.
No, it is not. It has its significance due to a lot of
historically
things.
Speaking.
Yeah, but
the starting point for me with Hitler is like to acknowledge that he's human and to at least consider the possibility that any one of us could have been Hitler. So like
that's a Peterson kind of concept. Also, Jonathan Haidt has a thing about the difference between hate and disgust mechanisms and things like that. And so he goes into looking at Hitler and through his diary entries and journals and stuff like that to look and see it more as the disgust mechanism, then also try and see like if there's any evolutionary biological attachment to this, whatever. I mean, you're right. He is a human being. Any of us we're all human beings. It's not that it's probably jarring for people to think, but we're all, I guess, supposed potentially capable of just being in, and all these evil people in the world think they're doing it for the sake of good.
Yeah.
Which makes them the most dangerous.
And there's differences in levels of insane.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hitler was way more insane than Stalin. I think Stalin legitimately thought he was doing good.
I would say that's probably true. Stalin, it was just outright brutal. Like he had his 5-year plan. He had all those other things.
He just had a much lower value for human life.
Yes.
And so he was willing to make decisions about what he actually, as a good executive, which he was, of managing different bureaucracies and so on, he was willing to make decisions that resulted in mass human suffering. Where Hitler was, it seems like to me, much moodier. So allowed emotions and moods to make decisions.
I think we also have to consider the different trajectories and how, where, and when they were making their decisions. And I mean, not by time specifically, but Hitler engaged into this conflict across multiple continents, and then everything that comes with basically fighting the whole world. Stalin had his conflict, and then he really mostly compartmentalized the rest of it. So he was dealing with his own internal instead of dealing with the internal and the external. So if Stalin was put under a world war scenario, I don't know, maybe he would have eventually lost his marbles too.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you're right. The hunger for power was more internalized for Stalin. He wanted to control the land that already existed as opposed to wanting to colonize other land.
He was as nationalistic as Hitler, but and was as capable and willing for violent conflict as Hitler for the aims of the state.
Yeah,
but he centered and internalized prior to then externalizing and moving outwards. Whereas even maybe prior to him, there was an interest to continually push communism in an aggressive sense, following on the momentum from the 1918 revolution, and that the halting of that through various aspects, I guess, in Germany, part of that was the National Socialists. Like they came up, and then they were the other ones to fight the communists, and so you had the two totalitarians going after it. But then in the rest of the world that was not dealing with totalitarian aspects, it wasn't gonna stick, especially in the West and other places. But Stalin casually thinking, it seemed like Stalin decided to go, all right, well, we're not going to go just start launching right into more conflicts here. These dudes are going down. So that's cool for us because they hate us and we hate them. But now we're going to focus internally, and then we're going to work on growing at a slower rate and picking our battles a bit more specifically. And of course, there's, you can get to even this is after Stalin, but yeah, you got the Bezmenov type stuff talking about subversion in cultural aspects.